Hi everyone, it's Amanda here again. We were talking in class about what happens when you get a little golf ball of colour in your palette and you can't do anything with it. And in this heat, it's not very exciting. It's a difficult thing to do, to use those colours. So if you've got professional paints, sometimes they even dry out in real heat. And a couple of weeks ago I had a glob of burnt sienna in my palette, and man, it was just genuinely like a golf ball. And so Yuki and I decided we were going to do an experiment, and I have actually done this before, but I haven't done it for a long time. So I've actually resolved my burnt sienna problem because it's costly. Yeah, I resolved my burnt sienna problem, and this is how I did it. So today I'm using raw sienna because it's in my palette. This is not a golf ball. It's on its way to becoming a golf ball. So I thought, well, let's just play with this. Now, the really cool thing when I mentioned to you that I'd done the burnt sienna was that I needed half of my burnt sienna golf ball that was in my palette because I wanted to save the rest of it for class, and Yuki and I were going to do it together, or probably the whole class, but anyway, it was Yuki and I in particular, and use the gum Arabic. And let me just also say quietly that this will not work on student grade paint, or it won't work for long. So just don't buy any more student grade paint here, because it's just nothing but heartache. Once student grade paint's gone hard, that's it, it's gone. And don't buy kids paint. So buy yourself, if you have to, just buy 4 tubes of paint. It's not that hard, it's not that difficult, it's not that expensive. What was I going to say to you? So yeah, I'm going to do it with my raw sienna, but the burnt sienna, I only did half of it, but it actually reconstituted the rest of it because I put it back in my palette on top of the other half of the golf ball, and it's come right. Hold on, let me see if I can show you. Sorry, I can't see. There we go. That's it there. So that was hard as a rock. Well, I'm just going to turn it around. Hard as a rock, and it's not hard as a rock anymore. Look at that. All it needs is for me to give it a bit of a blast with some water, and Bob's your uncle. It'll be great again. A little bit too much burnt sienna in there now because I'm going to use this. Okay, so can I get rid of that? Unlikely. Let's try. Ooh, that'll be fine to mix that in. Okay, so raw sienna, almost a golf ball, but not quite. So here's my gum Arabic, and I've got my kitchen offset palette knife, so maybe I'll use that because it's got raw sienna on it. So I'm just going to dip it in, and that's all I'm getting. Yeah, just that little bit. That's probably all I'll need. Is this going to work for me, this machine? Look at that. I don't like it as much as that other one, so I'm going to go back to that. And it's good to have a flat surface plate. I am going to need more. Just dip it in and out. That's all I'm going to need. It's probably got a bit of dust in it, and look at that, it's starting to come right now. Just need to get the rest of it off there. Ooh. When I used to mix the ink for Dad, my dad was a printer, and he had all these spatulas, special palette knives and things for doing the ink, and that was what my job was, a little bit more even, which I'm a little bit surprised about, but Ooh. But I don't want it to get too runny. I might sport myself another palette knife, actually, a bigger one for this purpose. But, you know, the truth is this is probably only the 3rd time in about 25 years that I've had to do this. What a difference, eh? If it goes too far and becomes a real golf ball. I had a golf ball in my palette a few years ago. It was raw sienna, and there was nothing I could do with it. I could literally bounce it on the floor. And it was sort of like happened overnight. I'm not really quite sure, but I didn't buy raw sienna for many years after that because it really put me off, and it's my favorite yellow. Okay, done. There it is. How beautiful is that? Back in my palette. And I really only put in my palette what I'm going to use that day. So, and I do get a load of, obviously you can see there's a lot of colours in my palette. There's a lot of stuff here. So, but anyway, my yellow raw sienna is back to life. Yay! Talk to you soon, guys. I'll bring my gum Arabic. So if you've got a problem colour in your palette, we'll do it together then, yeah? Have a fantastic day, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.